Hey guys, what's up? I hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to the new story of r/relationship advice. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for new future videos. Let's get started. Cheers.
Stories in today's video. 1. 1 year update. My girlfriend, F20, cheated on me, M21, with her best friend. 2. I've been waiting 4 years to divorce cheating wife, but now she is dependent on me. Reddit update. During the summer break, my girlfriend cheated on me with her best friend, all the while keeping me in the dark, and the general communication was zero. We came back to college and I started hearing dumb things and excuses that lead to fights like, "You kiss differently, you've changed, you're not who you were." I haven't changed a bit, it's just that something felt off. One day we had an event in college and we had a lot of fun. The same night I got a call from her. She was crying and she told me how she cheated on me with her best friend for about 3 months. She told me how she realized she truly loved me. I don't like shouting on people or fighting, so I immediately cut the call and didn't want to talk further. She started bombarding me with calls. I picked up one call and told her that I didn't want to talk right now and was in no mood to discuss this further. She kept calling me. Now her friends also joined in. I was getting messages and calls left and right. She was crying and not eating. Finally, I had to pick up the call. She was crying profusely and asking me why I wasn't talking to her. She kept saying "I love you," but I couldn't bring myself to reciprocate. I told her I wanted to break up, but that blew the lid off her and she started crying very loudly. I somehow convinced her to eat something and not cry. She kept saying she only wanted me and nothing else. But my trust was shattered. She made me meet her the next day, although I didn't want to. I told her I wanted a break and it'll be a long time before I was normal again. She just kept crying and asking me not to do this. She kept saying "I love you, don't do this," etc. After a while I thought maybe I was being too dramatic, and told her I can't trust her anymore. She said she would do anything. I could only tell her I can't do this. She kept pushing me. Me and my ex were really good friends. We broke up on mutual terms and would talk once in a while. She had a problem with talking to my ex and made me block her. Finally, I asked her to choose between me or her best friend. I'm not someone who does something like this. She used to hang out with him and leave me behind, talk to him and not answer my calls at times, but I trusted her fully. She said she wants to be with me. She made it a point to show me she blocked him. It was all well and good until about a week later when I saw she was talking to him on Instagram. I was hurt. I had started to trust her again to some degree. I immediately confronted her and she blocked him again, but I wasn't having any of it. She started crying and begging me. After a lot of this, I still agreed to be with her. Now yesterday, again I saw this guy's chats, never checked her phone. She was showing me something on Instagram and confronted her about it immediately. She started telling me how her friend was becoming suicidal and this and that. I called the guy directly and talked to him in front of her and told both of them that I wasn't okay with it and that she will have to choose. Now somehow my girlfriend told me I was being controlling by asking her to choose, and at this point I had had enough. I asked her to take her stuff and go to her hostel. I have a flat. She lives in the hostel. Now I thought talking to one of her friends who was quite reasonable was a good idea. I called her friend up in front of her and she told my girlfriend to do what she thought was right. Then she took the phone off the speaker and I was like, "This involves me, I would like to listen." At this point she started leaving the room. She had already packed her stuff, so in anger I told her that if you leave, just don't come back. At this point she made up her mind about the breakup and proceeded to take her stuff and walk out the door. It was pretty late at night and I didn't want to let her go in an unsafe situation. I chased after her and said I'd give her a ride. She refused, but I insisted. Finally she agreed. At this point she had told her friends and her best friend that we've broken up. But during the ride she held on to me and started crying, asking me if we were really doing this. I didn't have an answer. What do I do? TLDR. GF cheated on me with her best friend but still talking to him behind my back and against my wishes, so I wanted to provide an update and thank my fellow Redditors. I took the advice and broke up and realized that the relationship was really sucking the life out of me and was the worst thing in my life at the moment. Since then I have met someone who understands me and cares for me. There's no drama. Well, I once ate the last pizza slice and she got pretty angry, but yeah, that's the level of the drama. We support each other and she makes me a better human all around. Because of my ex, I wasn't able to focus on my studies, and the breakup combined with the COVID pandemic gave me ample time for studying, and I landed an internship at a big bulge bracket company, and also I am working on a few personal projects that I love spending time on. The pandemic also gave me time to realize that I was with the wrong person, and I love many others who love me, be it my family, friends, etc. I feel really liberated. Today I was looking back at what used to be, and I remembered that this subreddit for the trigger point for the change in my life. So thank you, and you all are awesome. It's because of you I've gone from crying nights to happy days. Edit 1. Some edits based on comments. Edit 2. Holy smokes. I didn't expect such a reaction. Thanks guys. Edit 3. Such wholesome comments. Thanks guys. TLDR. Wife and I are married with 2 kids. One son 19 years old and a daughter that is 18. About 4 years ago I discovered my wife had an affair with a mutual friend of ours. At the time everything in our marriage seemed to be going perfectly, we were happy, had a decent **x life, nothing that would indicate any dissatisfaction. After I found out, I confronted her about it, she admitted to everything, was apologetic. Turns out the affair went on for 4 months, and they broke it off a week before I found out about it. After finding out, I couldn't look at my wife the same. I didn't want anything to do with her. If we didn't have children, I would have divorced her on the spot. But I love my kids, and the idea of being a part-time dad and only seeing them every other weekend or some ridiculous arrangement like that I wasn't okay with. I told my wife she can sleep with whomever she wants to sleep with, because I honestly have no interest in ever sleeping with her again. Every time my wife tried to initiate **x, I'd just get feelings of disgust. Wife was apologetic for the rest of our marriage, but I couldn't bring myself to it. We did go for marriage counseling, but there was nothing to be learned from there. They tried to convince us that we needed to be intimate with each other again and that we could fix our marriage. I tried, but I couldn't bring myself to it. Just the idea of her being with our friend just drove me crazy. I kept imagining the other guy. I couldn't do it. I told her that there is an expiration date on our marriage, that as soon as our youngest daughter is off and away I am done with her. Days became a routine where I'd come home, put a smile on for the kids, do my share of the chores, and then go to bed. About a month ago, wife got into a car accident and now she has problems with her spine. She is restricted to a wheelchair. Looking at it, she probably will never be able to walk again. She needs me to carry her up the stairs and help her about with just about everything. I had plans on leaving her. Now I feel like if I leave, my family will look at me as a monster for leaving his wife when she needs him the most. I don't know what to do. I have been in a **xless marriage for over 4 years with a person I have no feelings for. A person whom I look and just get feelings of betrayal and sadness. No one in my family knows of the affair. I didn't want to tarnish my wife's reputation. Even though she betrayed me, she is still the mother to my 2 children, and I didn't want them to think less of her. I posted on another subreddit, and it seems that everyone is encouraging me to talk to my kids about it. Hopefully incorporate my wife into that conversation as well. TLDR*, wife cheated on me earlier in our relationship. I decided to stay with her for the sake of family and leave her when the kids graduate from high school. Wife is now dependent on me and can't leave. First of all, I want to thank all of you guys for letting me share my story. Seriously, just typing this all up made me feel much better, and your responses all were nice to see. So not much really happened. I just wanted to share what happened. I talked to my wife about our future. I told my wife that I am still planning on getting a divorce after our daughter leaves. She starts trying to guilt trip me, telling me that I need to forgive her and work towards building our relationship. She tells me that for the past 4 years she has been trying and I haven't been receptive. I told her that she was also the one that destroyed it in the first place, so she isn't really doing anything noble. I told her that I forgive her, but that doesn't make me love her again. I told her that the only reason I have any care for her is because she is the mother of my children. I told her that I'll make sure she is taken care of. Wife kept refusing, telling me that we can make our marriage work, we can go to counseling again. I told her that my decision is final. We talked about talking to our kids about the infidelity. We won't go into details on who the other man was, but that they are old enough to understand why we are splitting up. Our son is coming back for Thanksgiving break, and hopefully then we can discuss it together as a family. We also talked about future arrangements. We talked about selling the house. Wife didn't want to do that, but I told her that there is no point in having a big house if she is going to be the only one living it. She stated that this was our family's house and she doesn't want to give that up. We talked about physical therapy and what independence she might have in the future. I asked her if the guy she cheated on me with would be interested in taking care of her. She got really mad at me, yelled, and then we went to bed. I don't know, just after reading the post and writing this I am in a good mood. There are some other things I didn't mention in the previous thread. First of all, I do have somewhat of a plan after I divorce my wife. There is this woman I met through my work. She works at a satellite office in the UK. I plan on meeting with her soon after the divorce. I met her about 8 months ago or so. We don't share sexual conversations, we just talk online mainly, and I confide to her about my marriage. I don't know if we are going to form a relationship. She is much younger than me, doesn't have nearly any of the baggage I have, but she has been receptive when it comes to talking to me. So that's something I have to look forward to. Thanks again, guys. I will probably post another update after Thanksgiving. TLDR, talk to my wife about leaving. She still wants to repair the marriage. I have no desire to do so. Wife and I have been talking seriously about the divorce the past couple days. Oddly enough, it was one of the first times after the affair where we were opening up to each other. I told her how I have been feeling about living where we are currently. I told her that after the affair everything around here feels gloomy. A big part that really hurt me when it came to the affair was how many of my friends were aware of the situation yet didn't bother to inform me. Right now, when it comes to social events with other parents, I am distant and try not to stay for long. Wife sympathized with me, and she said moving away from here would be good for the both of us. I learned a good bit more about the affair. I am not going to get into all the details. But supposedly, the other guy told my wife that he wanted her to be faithful to him, so not to be intimate with me at the time. Also, I learned that the only reason that things ended was because he was planning on going on a cruise with his wife to work on their marriage. However, it didn't completely end because while we were going to marriage counseling, she slept with him twice. Wife wanted to tell me more about what happened. I told her that I already heard enough for now. In all honesty, I thought by now I'd become numb to my wife's actions, but the pain still cut deep. We got onto the topic of accommodations for her. I assured her that I am not going to leave her until she is independent or until she has a support system to assist her. I asked her if she has any friends that would be open to assisting her time to time. She said she didn't know anyone. I assured her that at the very least, I will stay by her side until she is done with her physical therapy. From the last time she saw the doctor, it is expected that by the end of the year she should be able to return to work. There is no chance of her ever being able to walk, but the goal now is to lessen her dependence on pain medication. The topic of how we are going to disclose the infidelity to our kids came up as well. We agreed that it would be best not to burden them and say we were miserable for 4 years. Instead, we will tell them it happened, that we tried working things out, and it isn't the right course for us to stay together. So far things were good. We were cordial with each other the whole way through. Yesterday we were coming home from her physical therapy. We were talking about housing plans after the divorce. I told her that I was planning on moving into an apartment, like the one we had prior to buying our house. We were talking about much work it is to maintain a big house and all. She asked me in detail as in where in particular I was planning on going. I told her that I have been looking into moving to the UK after things settle over here. She started asking, why would I want to move all the way there? It told her that if I could get a position there I'd make a good bit more money, and that I was serious when I said I wanted to get away from it all. I was looking at the road while I was talking to her. I look back, and I see her crying. I start asking what's wrong. She won't answer. She starts panting, and crying with greater intensity. We end up pulling up to the driveway. I still am trying to get a word from her. I stay in the car with her for a decent bit of time. Eventually she asks me to take her home. I take her to our home. She is still softly crying. My daughter comes downstairs and asks what's going on. Then my wife blurts out, your father is divorcing me because I am a backstabbing wh*re. I am trying to gain some control of the situation. I ask my daughter to leave so I can talk to her in private. My daughter refuses my request and she starts asking her mom for clarification. And my wife tells her that she cheated on me, and even goes as far to mention the other man's name. We were family friends with this guy, and his son goes to the same school as my daughter. Daughter starts calling her mom really nasty names. Soon after, my daughter starts confronting me about the divorce. I explain to her as honestly as I can, about why I stayed, the plans for eventually telling her. She didn't like my reasoning and told me she could have handled it when she was younger. I told her that after I discovered about the affair, her and her brother were the only people I had to look forward to. The idea of only being able to visit them on certain days would drive me crazy. We ended up embracing each other for a good bit. She told me that she loved me, and that mom is dead to me. I told her that her mom needs her right now and that no matter what she does she is still her mom. I told her that she should give her a hug and try to work things out with her. My daughter refused. We ended up talking later that day as well. I told her about my plans on moving to the UK after everything settles over here. She didn't want me to leave, but I assured her that I'd still be coming back here plenty. Soon after talking to my daughter, I had a phone call from my son. He heard about every detail from his sister and now wants me to get him from school on Friday. He also asked many of the same questions his sister did. Again, I answered them the best I could. I asked him to please talk to his mother. He refused as well. It was late. I ended up making dinner. Wife skipped dinner. For a good bit of the evening I spent it next to my daughter. My daughter and son both suggested that I should have divorced her on the spot. The whole time I was with my daughter, my wife was on her laptop. I tried talking to her earlier but I was shut down. It started to get late. I ended up taking my wife upstairs. She asked if she could lay in her spot. That's what we called, before the affair, it when she would rest her head on my chest, under my arm. We haven't done that or any type of cuddling after the affair. I agreed to it and she rolled over to me. She tells me she thought when I was talking about moving away, she thought to another city or a place that might be an hour away. She was under the assumption that she could still work on the relationship after we were divorced. I told her that we have had this argument too many times and it never ends any different. And right now I just want to go to sleep. I do my best to try to fall asleep but all I can hear is my wife's soft crying. Since then things have not been the same. My daughter doesn't even acknowledge her mother anymore. She has said some really nasty comments about her, for which I scolded her for. Wife is really distraught right now. I don't know what to do to make it better. This was not the way I wanted things to go down. Right now my wife has nobody, and I can see that she is suffering. I have been doing what I can to comfort her. I have been more affectionate and cuddling with her. But the last thing I want to do is to make her think I want to try to work on the marriage. I am going to be gone all of Friday to get my son from college. It's about a 12-hour drive there and back. And I don't know if my daughter will watch over her mom. I am really worried because right now she will purposely do and say things to hurt her. I don't know if this is her way of dealing with the trauma right now. I was talking to her, and within earshot of her mom she says, "Do you think mom getting into the car accident was karma for cheating on you?" Questions asterisk. Right now my wife is a shell of what she used to be. I have taken off and I am spending my time with her but I don't want her to get too attached either, so what can I do to balance this? Second, how do I get my kids to stop hating her? Third, what can I do for future arrangements regarding my wife? Note asterisk, I understand this subreddit likes to recommend counseling, but I have been there before and it doesn't work for us. I have gone to different counselors and it gets to the point where their job is to make a marriage last no longer how broken it is. I will consider some type of family counseling, but my children all have hectic schedules. That being said, I would really like some advice from you guys, not advice telling me to seek advice from other people. Also telling me I am a saint for being nice to my wife doesn't really do anything.